So we have an Angry Bird that is flying at an initial velocity of 30 meters per second at an angle of 40 degrees off of a 5-meter cliff. And we want to find first the max height of the Angry Bird. So that would be at this point right here. So we draw a triangle with a distance of 30, angle of 40, and we're solving for Vx and Vy. So our Vy would equal 30 sine of 40, and our Vx would be 30 cosine of 40. We know that in our x direction, it's going to be a constant because it stays the same. So to find our max height, we'll use velocity final squared equals velocity initial squared plus 2 times acceleration times distance. We know that our velocity final is 0 because that's where we're measuring to, equals 30 sine of 40 for our initial velocity because that's the direction, and that's the y direction. That would be from here to here. And then we know that 2 times our acceleration, which is negative 9.8, times our distance, which we're solving for. So d equals 18.97 meters, but then we have to add back in our 5 meters for the platform, which equals 23.97 meters. So that's our max height, which would be from here to here at the highest point of the Angry Bird. For the second part, we're going to find the time it takes to get to that max height. So we solve for velocity final equals velocity initial plus acceleration times time. And we're going to be solving for our t, and we know that our velocity initial is 30 sine of 40 from here to here, plus our negative 9.8. Solve for t and we get 1.97 seconds. That's the time it takes for the Angry Bird to get to the highest point. Then we're going to find the time it takes for the Angry Bird to travel all the way to the Pig King's tower. So we use the formula d equals velocity initial times t plus 1/2 times acceleration times time squared. We know that the distance from our starting point to our Pig King's tower is 70 meters. We know that our velocity initial is 30 cosine of 40, which is our x direction right here. And we're solving for our t. In this case, there's no acceleration in the x direction, so it would be 0 because the speed stays 0 throughout the whole time. So 70 equals 30 cosine of 40 for our velocity initial times our t, which we're solving for, which gives us a time of 3.05 seconds that it takes for the Angry Bird to travel to the Pig King's tower. For the next part, we're going to find the angle of the Angry Bird as it collides with the tower. So this angle right here. So velocity final equals velocity initial plus acceleration times time. Our velocity final equals 30 sine of 40 plus our negative 9.8 times our time, which we just figured out is 3.05, which gives us a velocity final of negative 10.6 meters per second. We know that it's going to be a positive though because we're dealing in velocity. So we take the tangent inverse of 10.6 divided by 22.98, which is our 30 cosine of 40, and it gives us an angle of 24.7 degrees, which would be our angle right here as it collides with the Pig King's tower. Then to find our final speed, we use this same triangle right here and do the Pythagorean theorem, squaring 10.6 and squaring 22.98, which leaves us with our velocity of 25.3 meters per second as the Angry Bird collides with the tower.